A love too obvious. I remember the day I met you. Through my best friend, Sarah. You two were roommates during a study abroad program, attending different universities but sharing a deep bond. She had told me all about you. How you both made silly meals together, baked cookies, and took in a stray cat you named Luna. You supported each other through the awkwardness of a group of peers who couldn't handle the fact that you were both queer. It was hard to escape the intolerance, even thousands of miles from home. Sarah couldn't stop praising you. You were brilliant, studying architecture but drawing cartoons like a seasoned artist. You knew random facts about everything, yet you never flaunted it. I was intrigued by you long before we met. That winter, Sarah and I brought you a Christmas gift, a basket of treats, games, and a stuffed animal. As soon as I stepped into your home, something inside me sparked. I felt seen, as if we had known each other forever. I was usually shy, stumbling over my words, but with you I felt funny, confident. You had long, dark hair and wore glasses, dressed casually in sweats and a loose shirt. I, on the other hand, had agonized over my outfit, wanting to make an impression. Before meeting you, I hadn't had many friends. I walked through my days afraid to connect, feeling like an outsider. But you invited me in, made me feel welcome, promising to take me to your favorite cafe near campus. It was the beginning of something that made me giddy, hopeful. I had told myself that this was the year I'd change things. 3 years into college, I had nothing to show for it. I'd been living a life too isolated. Class, home, TV, sleep, repeat. But now I had a chance to open up to you. After asking Sarah for advice, I took a bold step and invited you out for matcha, which I knew you loved. When you stepped out of your house, I was stunned. You had this effortless mix of masculinity and femininity. Carpenter pants, Vans, curled hair, and a full face of makeup. There was no fitting you into a box, and that only drew me closer. We spent hours at the cafe talking about everything. Art, music, fears, and the struggle of growing up with immigrant parents who couldn't fully accept us. I joined the club you and Sarah were in, and soon your friends became my friends. We spent nights staying up too late, talking about life and love, always a little closer with each conversation. As the weeks passed, I realized I had fallen for you. I was terrified, unsure if you felt the same. Sarah, ever the supportive friend, encouraged me to confess. It felt like the biggest test of my life. One night, I finally told you how I felt. We were sitting in my car, and I barely managed to get the words out. To my surprise, you were shocked. Apparently, you hadn't seen it coming. We laughed about it later, but in that moment, it was everything. From there, things seemed perfect. You introduced me to your mom, who told you she liked me, which made me feel special. She was perceptive, you said, only complimenting people she truly believed were good. However, she also warned you that Sarah would hurt you one day. It was an odd thing to say, but I didn't give it much thought at the time. Sarah was one of the most thoughtful people I knew. She loved deeply, and she had shared stories of past relationships where she had made mistakes but had grown from them. She was the type of person who'd cry out of sheer love for her girlfriend. How could she ever hurt anyone, especially you? Then things started to shift. I noticed how close you and Sarah were. One evening, we were all hanging out, and you two spent hours reminiscing about your time abroad. I felt like a third wheel, invisible in the room. At the store the next day, you both moved in sync, choosing items for dinner without saying a word. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was on the outside. Despite trying to brush it off, I couldn't deny my feelings of insecurity. I tried talking to both of you about it, but you reassured me that it was nothing. We had a great night, cooking together and laughing, but the unease lingered. On our 1-month anniversary, I gave you a bouquet of flowers, cornflowers, sunflowers, and roses, each chosen with care. I poured my heart into a card, telling you how much I admired your intelligence, your art, your way of seeing the world. But when I read your card to me, something felt off. It wasn't about me. It was about what I did for you, how I made you feel. As time went on, I noticed your friends giving me strange looks. They were distant, almost pitying, as if I was out of place. I chalked it up to their judgmental nature, but it still gnawed at me. Then came the real blow. You grew distant, barely texting back, avoiding touch. You seemed constantly distracted, your attention elsewhere. I confronted you, desperate for an explanation. After much hesitation, I asked the question that had been haunting me. Do you have feelings for Sarah? The pause that followed was excruciating. Finally, you admitted, yes, I do. My world shattered. I had feared this from the start, that I would never compare to Sarah, that what you two had was something I could never touch. Everyone around us must have seen it. I was the one standing in the way of something inevitable. I called Sarah to confront her. Her answer mirrored yours. She had feelings for you too. All those times she supported our relationship, it had been a lie. Everyone knew except me. I was just a stepping stone in the love story between you two. The one who solved the puzzle neither of you could admit to yourselves. It was always her, never me. In the end, the truth was too obvious to deny. No matter how much I tried to ignore it. You and Sarah were always meant to be, and I was left with the painful reality of being the one who stood in the way of that truth.